A short time ago, you would have seen the Amaryllo Zeus come onto the channel. Now, today I'm excited to show you a different product that shows up in a very different way from Amaryllo as well. Hello Automators, thanks for tuning in again. I'm Brian from Automate Your Life, and today I'm going to take the frustration out of automation by showing you a very unique and sophisticated smart home camera here from Amaryllo. Now, fair warning, they did sponsor this video. That doesn't mean that they get a good review from me. What it means is they get to come on the channel at this point in time here. So let me tell you what the Hermes is all about. In this camera, that name Hermes, quite frankly, I like how Amaryllo names their cameras. You know, the Zeus sitting over here, the Hermes, these gods are protecting our homes. Now, this is a 720p smart home camera here that is available to monitor and track things moving throughout your home. Now again, this device, similar to the Zeus, it has a high engineering level, and it does motion detection, it does audio detection, and it does light detection, and it has a number of different sensors, including the microphone and the PIR sensor on the front of this device. It's called a biometric sensing camera, and this is the same as the Zeus again, and what that really means is how it senses people is a lot more sophisticated. How it senses facial recognition features, it's going to end up being a lot more accurate than I think you're used to with a lot of the facial recognition software that's out on the market today. The other thing that Amaryllo really has paid attention to, and they continue to do this with all their cameras, is their encryption. So they say 256-bit military grade encryption, and really in general you're going to find that they really pay attention to security and privacy throughout their camera system. The Hermes has the ability to rotate 240 degrees or see 240 degrees out from center. So that's based on the ability to rotate, auto track things moving through a space, and then it also has its field of view. Now, it also has the ability within that to create activity or block out zones, and this is very important if you have certain things in your space that you don't want to be looking at or they move all the time. You can block them out, or you can create specific zones that you get the notifications from. It also has 8 gigabytes of onboard storage, so you have that option to just store directly on this device. It also sports two-way communication, so you have that ability to talk to someone in the space, and then we get into some more complex features that I don't think you're going to find on a lot of other smart home cameras. And what I'm talking about is really, you know, the first thing is the facial recognition. So you can set up a number of different people in the application for facial recognition, and then you're going to get the right notifications from the Amaryllo system. On top of that, though, you can get different notifications and turn on and off notifications for things like people detection, vehicle detection, dog and cat detection, and even bird detection. So you'll get different notices or be able to turn those on and off as you see fit, and so you can really customize these advanced features. What's really interesting about the cameras, and this is true for the Zeus as well, it's really the same experience in a lot of ways. The percentage kind of shows up, how accurate they feel they've been with analyzing that object, and what confidence they have in that shows up on your notification screen. So they also have the ability to do what they call fire warning. Now, they always tell me you have to make sure you tell people it's not a replacement for a smoke or a CO detector here, but it is able to warn you if it's seeing fire in the space, and that's a very powerful feature. And again, you get those percentage in terms of confidence. Moving past those advanced features and just kind of talking about the live view for a second, once you go into that live view, you have the ability to move up or down the resolution based on, say, your network speed. That's a very important thing, and it doesn't actually affect the recording quality. So that's an important distinction to make there. Now, you have the ability to set up those activity or those block zones, and you can also lock the rotation, which allows you to get access to kind of two other capabilities that are very unique to this, and that is heat map and path tracking. The heat map gives you this ability to kind of see how people are moving through the space and how often they're moving through certain parts of your home. And then the path tracking ability gives you the last 10 paths that people had moved through. So you can really see a number of commercial applications when you think about that. You also have a number of other backup or storage options. So you have the ability to connect this to an NAS storage system or RTSP, and we talked about the 8 gigabytes on here. And then you also have the Amaryllo cloud options, which we'll talk more about later. Now let's talk about the things I like about the Hermes. And I mean, we had a lot of different settings and things to talk about there, but really the big thing with this camera is its portability. So right there, I'm hoping you can see this really well. That is a USB power port. And so what this means is you can power this device a lot of different ways. And that includes just for a 2 amp battery backup or any sort of battery pack that is USB, you can go ahead and power this device. And what's really interesting is with all those settings, you could take this with you and still get recordings. So you could leave your Wi-Fi, you could leave your space and still get really good recordings onto this device. So the portability there and the engineering and foresight behind getting a device to that point, still being a smart home camera with all of those features, is really amazing to me. And I mean, this was kind of the thing with the Zeus, the engineering level and the foresight of what this could be used for was really great. I mean, I don't know how they come up with some of this stuff. So that incredible option of being able to just put this into a USB in a plug in your home, I mean, that's highly powerful, and you can see lots of applications there in commercial spaces again. Now, the other thing is they give you a nice little mount that you can also use, and they're just showing the versatility here. Now, it can just sit on a table. That it can be that simple, and it can still be plugged in using the adapter they give you, but these different options make this a really powerful option in a lot of locations. They added some greetings, and they can be kind of positive greetings, and so whenever you enter a space based on the time of day, you can get some greetings out of the little Hermes. It's kind of nice. Then you know that this device is looking at you, you know it's recording, and you know that it's working. So those are kind of nice things. The other side of it is you can set intruder type alarms and kind of make it be a little bit nasty. It can also put out a pretty high squeal.
Hello.
This is also one of the first cameras that I have seen recognize the California Consumer Privacy Act there. I can't remember the acronym right now, but this is the first one I've seen recognize that, and they also recognize GDPR, so you can actually turn on a setting there to make it GDPR compliant when we're talking about face recognition, facial recognition in those recordings. So this is an important component, and I think your security and your privacy is really worth this attention when we're talking about a smart home camera. In terms of functions and capabilities, all those things I told you about, they all function really well. They're high quality, and I like all the features that I'm getting from this device. But let's kind of flip over and talk about some of the things I didn't love about the Hermes. So the first one, and this was a frustration with the Zeus, they don't have integration with other smart home platforms. Now, what I'll tell you is that Amazon integration has been hinted to me to prepare to get ready for that here with the Amaryllo product. So when that shows up, and we can talk about showing this on a smart display, I think it becomes a much different device. And then if we can go and use it within automation in the future when Amazon kind of gets there. I think the other thing that will get most people is the cost of these devices in general. Amarillo's not selling you a cheap $20 camera, and if that's what you're looking for, I get it. That's not what this is, and I think that it prices itself out of certain markets. On the flip side, again, that privacy, that security focus, I think that's really important when we're talking about a smart home camera sitting within your home. And so I get the cost, and then I see the cost physically in a device like this. You really can take it and customize it with the software options, and then with the hardware capabilities, you can make it fit really any space. And where the costs get a little out of hand, for me, you know, the $160 US price, I don't think that's unreasonable at all. I've reviewed many cameras that I feel are reasonable within that price range, and this has more capabilities and functions than most of those. But where it starts to get a little bit troubling, and I've talked with Amaryllo about this is their cloud-based recording, so and their cloud service, and some of their features are tied to that cloud service. And so if you don't need pet detection, if you don't need things like the smoke or the fire warnings, then you can kind of get yourself down to around a $10 US a month price for a lot of that storage and a lot of the capabilities that we've talked about here. One nice thing about those storage plans is it is unlimited video storage. So when you buy a $30 plan, or a 30-day plan, it's unlimited. No matter how many recordings you have, it's unlimited, and that's what you'll get. So from an Automate Your Life recommendation standpoint, I think we're watching a real pioneer in the industry come out with Amaryllo, and I'm excited to be working with them often enough here. I'm going to go to CES and see them there, and I'm really excited to be able to talk to them about their attention to the things that I think are really important. And when we're talking about a security camera, I really do think security and privacy are going to become major issues in 2020 and beyond here in the smart home space. And their attention to those things with their encryption and with their just attention to not trying to steal your data. Those things are really important, guys, and I think it's worth the money in that case to a lot of people. All of the links are down below to the Hermes. You can go ahead and grab yourself one of these devices, or you can look at the Zeus and any of Amaryllo's other cameras. They're high quality products, guys. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and of course, don't hate, automate.